Very good Tuesday morning to everyone out there. Landon here with you to bring you your weather and odd forecast courtesy of Ohio Valley Insurance. Hope all you all had a phenomenal start to the new year. Here we are rolling into the second day. We've got cloud cover that's remaining present across the region. You can see with the low-hanging stratus clouds, we got some breaks here right across the southern tier of Kentucky. You can see some more clouds trekking in here from the west, north and east through Arkansas and Missouri as well. A mix of sun and clouds, what we're going to be dealing with throughout the day, folks. We can already see that present here across the region this morning. White squirrel with our nest cam showcasing that overlooking Bowling Green and WKU. Got the bright city lights showcasing some wispy clouds over in that direction. Same can be said overlooking the Beechtree News Sky Cam north and west from Morgantown. Temperatures have plummeted throughout the overnight. We are sitting anywhere between the low and mid 20s across the vast majority of the region. You can see that is where the colder temperatures are, folks, where the cloud cover has just broken up out there. And where the clouds are still hanging tough, the flats of Woodbury up in Butler County sitting at 35, just west of Russellville sitting at 34 degrees. We're going to be taking highs just up to around the low and mid 40s, folks. They're not going to be moving too much as we work throughout the day. Moving over and taking a look at the surface map, high pressure is going to be nosing in here from the south and east. This is what's going to create more sunshine as we work throughout the day. Enjoy it while you can, folks, because we've got a particular weather maker that we're watching this weekend that could be bringing some winter weather shenanigans here across the region. Either that or a good amount of rainfall, depending upon the exact track that a low pressure system is going to take. And what's rather interesting about this setup is that this isn't the only weather maker that we're going to have to keep close eyes on this weekend. We got a few more that's on in the line for next week too. And with a cold pattern attempting to lock in here, we could be looking at multiple chances of precipitation of the winter variety. So let's jump right into it, shall we? Take a look here. We're looking at the 500 millibar level, the anomalies, all right? The changes between the low pressure, and then you can see the areas of blue being signified by that and purple as well. Here we are working throughout today. All's going to remain quiet. We get into Wednesday. We got this southern stream system down here across the deep south. And then we have this area up here into our north with a low pressure system up in Canada. That's going to be bringing a dry cold front across the region. So this will be arriving here Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday evening. It'll bring more sunshine back Thursday, folks, but northerly winds is going to create actually even colder conditions. Keep your eyes to the west, folks, because as we get into this upcoming weekend, we have got a significant shot at what could be a boatload of rain or a potential for a major winter storm. We get this digging trough and associated low pressure system riding right along the Gulf and then pulls off right along the East Coast. But folks, again, not just that weather maker, look off to the west. As we get into the early days of next week, here comes another one. Then we progress into Tuesday into Wednesday of next week. Here comes another weather maker. And then another one as we get into next Friday and on into the weekend. So needless to say, we got a very active pattern picking up here with all these pieces of energy and disturbances working in here from the west. Now that you've seen it 20,000 feet up above our head, let's compare it with what it's going to look like here at the surface, all right? This area of high pressure is going to track east throughout the day, as you'll see here. And then keep your eyes just to our south and west as we work into our Wednesday. We're going to have this Gulf low tracking across the deep south. And then we got this moisture-deprived cold front that's going to dive in here out of the north and west. We're not going to see anything out of this, folks, all right? Just a change in the wind shift that'll clear out our skies with more sunshine throughout our Thursday. And then clouds go back up on the uptick on Friday when the weather maker will really start to evolve, and we'll have to pay very close attention to this. Right now, the Euro model brings the Gulf low right along the Gulf Coast and then pinwheels off to the north and east right there across the spine of the Appalachian Mountains. Now, folks, if you need a lesson on winter weather makers that work out best for us, you want that surface low to come right up the spine of the Appalachian Mountains, and that sets us up as a target point for the potential for a major winter weather system. We got all this deep moisture being picked up and dumped over to the northwest side of the low, right here as you can see. And this is going to be interacting with what's known as the cold conveyor belt that wraps around to the north and to the northwest side of the low. So what happens is you pick up all this deep moisture and you dump it over to the northwest side of the low, and then all of that rainfall or precipitation falls through below freezing temperatures into that layer of much colder air, and that transitions it over to a wintry mix or perhaps all snow. We're still 4 to 5 days out from this, folks. There still needs to be many questions answered regarding the exact track point of this low. If this low is to be displaced 50 to 100 miles off to the north and west, that could change the winter weather event over to plain Jane rain. And if we get it to pull a little bit further to the south and east, we could get even heavier snowfall amounts. So we're going to be watching this very, very closely here over the upcoming days. Not just this weekend, folks, but keep eyes to our west. We work into the early days of next week. Here comes another weather maker. Here comes another one as we work into Tuesday into Wednesday of next week. Then here comes another one diving down with this low pressure. Needless to say, we're getting ready to roll into a very, very active period. All that will be kicking off this weekend, folks. And yes, some of that could be in the winter variety. Here's a look at the latest total snowfall amounts. Right now, it's not spitting out a lot, but folks, keep in mind and take it with a grain of salt. It'll all be dependent upon the track of the low, whether we see a load of rain that comes in here or if we get a significant winter weather event. All depends upon the exact track of that particular weather maker. A look at the latest from here, folks. We're talking about minor impacts from the upcoming winter weather maker. This is what we're watching. They currently have given us anywhere from a 5 to roughly a 10% chance of seeing some sort of impacts come out of this, with the highest impacts expected just along and east of the Appalachian Mountains, stretching from the Blue Ridge Mountains over here in southwest North Carolina all the way up into Pennsylvania. So this will be worth keeping very, very close eyes on, to say the least. And if we do not get in on the wintry weather, look at all the rain. 1 to 3 inches of total rainfall. We're still in a deficit with what we received here over the past few weeks, so we will take all of that we can get. Taking a look at your next 5-day weather forecast, a mix of sun and clouds throughout the day. It's going to be cloudier this morning and colder, folks, with some more sunshine as we work into this afternoon. Still going to be chilly, highs pegged between the low and mid 40s. More cloud cover throughout our Wednesday, and then more sunshine after a moisture-deprived cold front passes Wednesday night. Friday, clouds will be on the uptick ahead of our next weather maker, with a likely wintry mix following Friday night on into our Saturday as well. That'll wrap up your second day of the new year. Weather or not, Bowling Green forecast brought to you by Ohio Valley Insurance. You all take care of yourselves and each other. Have a blessed Tuesday.